In the glittering world of magnificent century, every character carries a shadow. From sultans commanding armies to concubines shaping destinies, no one is truly unimportant. Yet, some figures appear, burn brightly for a moment, and disappear without explanation. One of them is Gulsah, a young woman caught between powerful forces, loyal to the wrong people, and ultimately erased by palace politics. Viewers remember her betrayal, her loyalty to Mahidevran, her venom toward Hürrem. But many ask the same question: who was Gulsah really, and what happened to her? Today we dive into the story of Gulsah, the girl behind the harem walls, her origins, her alliances, her downfall, and the truth behind the fiction. In Magnificent Century, Gulsah appears as a handmaiden serving Mahidevran during her years in Manisa. But what about real history? Historically, there is no confirmed record of a woman named Gulsah serving Mahidevran or Prince Mustafa. And that is not unusual. Harem servants were rarely documented unless they became powerful concubines or mothers of princes. Most names disappeared from the archives, especially those who never rose to the rank of Haseki. So who was she? Gulsah is most likely a composite character created for the series, inspired by real palace servants, kariyeler, concubines in training, hazinedar girls, treasury servants, kalfa attendants, senior maids. These women managed everyday life for influential figures like Mahidevran and Mihrima. So while Gulsah may not be documented historically, the type of character she represents is absolutely real. A young woman brought to the palace, trained to obey and loyal to the one who protected her. In the series, Gulsah is portrayed as sharp-tongued, fiercely loyal to Mahidevran, suspicious of outsiders, quick to anger, and easily manipulated by jealousy and pride. She is not a major political player, but she is a catalyst, reflecting the tension between the old order and the new. Gulsah is young, impulsive, and emotional, the perfect mirror of Mahidevran's fear that her world is slipping away. She becomes the mouthpiece of Mahidevran's resentment, saying things Mahidevran never could, and that makes her dangerous. In the hierarchy of the palace, loyalty is currency. Gulsah gives Mahidevran something she craves desperately: unconditional devotion. Their relationship is built on three things: shared origins. Both came from the Manisa palace, far from the political thunder of Istanbul. Both felt overwhelmed when confronted with Hürrem's meteoric rise. Emotional dependence. Mahidevran loses influence, status, and eventually Mustafa's fatherly protection. Gulsah becomes someone she can trust without fear of betrayal. A common enemy, Hürrem. To Gulsah, Hürrem is not just a rival. She is the storm that destroyed Mahidevran's world. This shapes Gulsah into a character fueled by resentment, acting not for strategy, but for emotion. Gulsah becomes the embodiment of Mahidevran's desperation, and that desperation eventually destroys them both. From the moment Gulsah enters Istanbul with Mahidevran, she is confronted with the unstoppable force of Hürrem Sultan. This is not a rivalry. This is a collision of worlds. Hürrem is strategic. Gulsah is impulsive. Hürrem calculates. Gulsah reacts. Where Hürrem plans for decades, Gulsah thinks only in moments. The series shows this beautifully. Gulsah speaks boldly, criticizes Hürrem's presence, mocks her background, something no seasoned palace servant would dare. Every word she speaks cuts deeper into her own fate. Because in a place like Topkapi, disrespect is not punished immediately, it is remembered, and eventually repaid. Hürrem's reaction? Cold, controlled, silent, And that silence is more terrifying than any outburst. Hürrem does not see Gülşah as a rival. She sees her as a nuisance, someone not worth destroying, but someone who will inevitably destroy herself. Turning point for Gülşah's downfall comes when Ibrahim Pasha destroys her face after she discovered Ibrahim and Nigar had an affair. Gülşah survives this, despite all odds, and offers her unconditional loyalty to Hürrem in exchange for protection. This loyalty is highlighted when Hürrem becomes Haseki, and Gülşah stands beside her. Sadly, her loyalty, which was her biggest advantage, became a death sentence. In order to protect Hürrem, she tries to kill Hatice Sultana, and that was her death sentence. Gülşah's journey in Magnificent Century is brief, but meaningful. She symbolizes the fate of the countless unnamed women who lived, loved, schemed, and suffered behind the walls of the Ottoman palace. Women whose stories mattered, even if history never wrote their names. The rise of Hürrem and the fall of Mahidevran are legendary, but Gülşah represents the forgotten cost, the servants crushed beneath the wheels of royal ambition. So what happened to Gülşah? In the series, a dramatic fall. In history, a disappearance. In truth, she stands for all the invisible women who lived in the shadow of power, their stories echoing only in fiction.